I'm good at one thing, selecting high-performance clinic locations. Over the last decade, I've helped develop over 100 ground-up healthcare clinics across the U.S. But here's the hard truth that most operators only learn through expensive failure. Most clinic owners fail to scale because they try to do everything themselves. They think they're building a healthcare empire, but they've accidentally become part-time, amateur real estate developers. When you're managing contractors instead of clinicians, your growth stagnates. Today, I'm showing you the exact build-to-suit strategy that the largest healthcare operators in the U.S., the household names you see on every major street corner, use to offload risk, protect their capital, and explode their footprint. We're going to dive into the math that turns one clinic into 11, and why your gut feeling and site selection is actually your biggest liability. If you are looking to scale your DeNovo pipeline or be bought out by private equity, this video is for you. When you go solo and build your own clinic, you hit a ceiling the moment you sign that land contract. Most operators don't realize they're actually walking into a capital trap. Let's talk about negative carry. The second you draw down capital from your REIT, private equity fund, or bank to purchase land, that interest clock starts. Whether it's 7 or 10%, you're paying for that money every single day it sits in the dirt. Think about the math of a delay. If you have $3 million out in a construction loan at 8%, you're burning roughly $20,000 a month just in interest. But the costs aren't just the interest. You also have the carry cost. You're paying for several costs like insurance, security, and property taxes, all on an empty lot that hasn't seen a single patient yet. If your DIY project gets delayed 6 months due to some sort of zoning dispute, which happens constantly, you've just flushed $150,000 down the drain before you've even hired a receptionist. Furthermore, consider your opportunity cost. That $3 million that you just locked into a building is now $3 million you cannot use to go after and hire a top-tier medical director and other top medical professionals. Also, it hamstrings your digital marketing campaign. In a world where patient acquisition has become far more expensive, you've traded growth capital for debt equity. You're literally paying for the privilege of not being open. Top brands realize that capital is a high-velocity tool best used for operations, not to be locked long-term in brick and mortar. Let's look at the math that allows the giants to dominate. It defines your velocity of scale. If you build a clinic yourself, let's say that your all-in cost for a standard 5,000 square foot facility is roughly $3.3 million. That's $3 million for the real estate, the shell, and all the site work, plus $300,000 for your startup cost. That's your staffing, training, medical equipment like FF&E, and also your initial marketing spend. One door and you're at $3.3 million. Now look at the build-to-suit model, where you let the developer take that initial $3 million hit. You bring the $300,000 for the high-impact operational cost. So now we have $3.3 million divided by 300, that equals 11 clinics. But here's the executive layer of that math. If you have 11 clinics, each generating $2 million in revenue each, you now have a $22 million revenue company operating with reduced geographic risk. If one location has a staffing issue, the other 10 can carry the load. If you have one clinic, you have a $2 million company with 100% of your risk in a single zip code. When you go to sell that business to a larger aggregator or a PE firm, the multiple applied to an 11-unit company is significantly higher because you've proven a scalable model. You aren't just opening more doors. You're building an exponentially larger, more valuable exit. If you're sitting on capital right now and realizing you could be open 11 clinics instead of one, click the link below and let's schedule a time to connect. We need to look at your map. To scale at that pace, you need a DeNovo pipeline. Most companies fail here because their real estate department is really their CEO and a local broker who doesn't understand entitlements. When you partner with the right developer, you're hiring a special ops team, and that team functions as an extension to your C-suite. First, there's market selection. We don't just look at neighborhoods, we look at payer mixes, drive time psychographics, and avoid analysis, identifying exactly where your underserved client base is before your competitors do. Then comes the red tape. I've seen CEOs spend 20 hours a week on zoning calls. That is a $500 an hour executive doing administrative work. A developer will handle it all, like parking variances, utility easements, and even environmental hits. This allows for simultaneous growth. Because the developer has the bandwidth, you can open 4 clinics in 4 different cities all in the same quarter. You aren't waiting for Clinic A to finish before you can start Clinic B. This is how you achieve market density and brand presence before your competitor even pulls their first permit. Let's talk about the most overlooked metric in healthcare, time to revenue. I once worked with an operator who used to manage their own builds just to save on developer fees. They missed their go-live date by 14 weeks because they failed to address a specialized drainage permit that they didn't even know existed. And this happens. A professional developer should catch that in the first 30 days of due diligence. By opening 14 weeks late at roughly $45,000 a week in sales, that's over $600,000 in revenue lost before you've even opened. But the pain is deeper than the top line. Your staff is already hired and on the payroll. Your marketing spend has already hit the market. Your burn rate is at its absolute peak. Every week you are closed is a double loss. Using a developer isn't an expense. It's insurance for your cash flow. If a developer can get you open just 10 weeks earlier, in this game, speed isn't a luxury. It's a financial requirement to have great operating EBITDA. The difference between a clinic owner and a healthcare CEO is how they value their time and risk. You can spend the next 18 months acting as a part-time general contractor, or you can own the entire market by letting a developer take the real estate hit. I help healthcare companies and PE firms identify these high-performing sites and bridge that time to revenue gap. If you're ready to scale your next 5 to 20 locations, I want to invite you to a deal strategy session. Here's how it works. Just click the link in the description below or go to our website at www.winstonwarren.com. Fill out the brief form about your current footprint and your upcoming growth goals for the next 36 months. Then we'll jump on a call. We 10x your opening speed. Let's stop building clinics and let's build a footprint. Click the link below and I'll see you there. Until next time.